I would like to remind everybody that it's February 4th, 2019. It is 10:39 p.m. on Monday night. JD, why is it 10:39 p.m. Monday night and you're in the office already talking about tonight's happenings on Monday Night Raw? There's a main event yet to go on. Ladies and gentlemen, it's February 4th, 2019. And on this show tonight, we've seen Double J Jeff Jarrett and the Road Dogg Jesse James battle Elias. It's not 1995, folks. It's 2019. And in the main event of this very same show, we have Kurt Angle in the main event of Monday Night Raw on February 4th, 2019. My iPad's going off. People texting me about the show all night. All night. I can't stop it. I can't stop it. I am not watching that main event. I refuse to watch a main event with Kurt Angle in it on February 4th, 2019. I'm done. I'm absolutely fucking done. And Braun Strowman, get these hands. We're going to change that catchphrase to get the remote every time Braun Strowman is on TV. The guy does absolutely nothing for me. You can blame Vince McMahon for that. I truly don't get it. We're 2 weeks away from the Elimination Chamber, and this is what we're getting. This is what we're getting. And then Corey Graves. The funny thing is, I'm thinking about it all night. Corey Graves, during the Super Bowl, right? Halftime Heat. You guys watch Halftime Heat? Did you guys see the future of WWE? The future that, if you're smart and you actually give a shit about this company, the future that you don't want on Monday Night Raw. Corey Graves was watching Halftime Heat, and he put out a tweet. Why isn't the Velveteen Dream on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown Live? Really? Really? This is your line of questioning. I didn't know Corey Graves was that fucking stupid. And he goes on some childish rant about how people are negative on social media and negative on Twitter. Welcome to the fucking neighborhood, Mr. Graves. Maybe you shouldn't speak out of tongue next time. Does anybody want the Velveteen Dream on Monday Night Raw? Do you see the fucking program that is surrounding you for 3 hours? Why the fuck would anybody wish this nightmare upon him? Same thing goes for Aleister Black and Ricochet and Adam Cole and Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. Please. Please. I already have enough sleepless nights. I don't need these guys to be ruined on the main roster. This show was god-awful. Absolutely fucking god-awful. We are 2 weeks away from the Elimination Chamber. Does the Elimination Chamber even need to be a thing after what we're getting the past couple of weeks? Why is Fastlane even on the fucking calendar? It's as if WWE is like, well, these are B-level pay-per-views, so we'll give you effort on Monday Night Raw. I don't understand it. And then there are people out there that willingly accept this mediocrity. These are people that I'm sure walk through life being a mediocre individual. I don't want anything mediocre. I don't walk around being a mediocre individual. I don't go around eating mediocre meals. I don't go around producing mediocre content. I don't go out there and play on a mediocre video game system. PS4 is greater than Xbox, by the way. Don't at me, clowns. I don't drive a mediocre vehicle. I don't drink mediocre coffee. You do everything that you want to the best. I don't want mediocre wrestling on Monday night. Is it that fucking difficult? There are people willingly praising parts of this show. What are you praising? I could take a dump in the middle of fucking Times Square, and I could be praising the fucking steaming pile of shit that I took right in the fucking center of Times Square. It would be the same thing that you're doing for Monday Night Raw. Complete and utter fucking embarrassing garbage. Then I got people in the community who call me the number one goofiest podcaster. What's so goofy about what I'm talking about? What's so goofy? Clearly this show was written by a bunch of fucking goofy fucking idiots. People don't like the truth, apparently. People don't like the fucking truth. Well, I'm going to drop the fucking truth like I always do on Monday night because I don't know any other fucking way. Monday Night Raw. We're going to talk about in just a little bit. Obviously, the biggest thing that came out of this show was whatever we were talking about on Off the Script. Becky Lynch and Dean Ambrose. Very telling by Dean Ambrose. It ain't a work anymore, folks. It ain't a work anymore. He's gone. Good as gone. Cody, where are you, bro? You better have Ambrose's number on speed dial once WrestleMania is over with. Buried. Ambrose is gone. There's no work here. There's no plans for an Ambrose Triple H match at WrestleMania. It's all dead. It's all fucking fantasy with what we've seen tonight. And then Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey we're going to go over because I actually got extensive notes on this. This was probably the biggest thing on the entire show. Becky Lynch injured and suspended by Stephanie McMahon. She wasn't injured by Stephanie McMahon. She was injured at the Royal Rumble, quote unquote injured, but she was suspended by Stephanie McMahon in what people are foolishly comparing to Vince and Stone Cold. No, clowns, this did not mimic or mirror Vince and Stone Cold in any way. The only similarity that I see is that there's a McMahon in the fucking opening of the show. This did not resemble Vince and Stone Cold Steve Austin in the least, or the littlest bit. No way. Absolutely no way. So we're going to get into that. Let me get into what I usually do before we talk about anything wrestling related here, man. I got to do my social media plugs at JD from NY206 on Twitter and on Instagram. I've been posting on Instagram a lot more lately, so make sure you guys go follow me on both social media platforms. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Follow me on Twitch, JD from New York. I might be live streaming the fan rally at the MGM Grand Pool, All Elite Wrestling, which cannot come soon enough. Patreon.com/JD from NY206 if you guys want to support the podcast on Patreon. Make sure you guys go and get the new t-shirt, man. JD's Elite. Are you going to be one of my elite? It is now available on bonfire.com. Make sure you guys go and get your shirt. People are buying it like crazy, man. Thank you guys so very much. We got about the 50 number mark is fastly approaching. You guys are blowing it out of the water, man. So thank you guys so very much for all that. Go and get yours, bonfire.com, and the link will be down in the description below. So please go and support by buying one of the new t-shirts. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. And if you guys want to go check out any of the videos that I had uploaded this weekend, man, I was a fucking workhorse. I was the Kenny Omega of the YWC this weekend, double uploading. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Make sure you guys go and check out literally everything. Some good stuff there, talking about Dean Ambrose. The entire situation with Dean Ambrose, the news and rumors on him. Is it a work? Clearly it's not anymore after tonight. Is he going to AEW? I hope so. Kenny Omega's new home probably will be announced on Thursday. Lesnar possibly negotiating with AEW after WrestleMania. Why Charlotte Flair needs to stay away from Becky Lynch's spotlight at WrestleMania. All that plus so much more on the channel this weekend. So make sure you guys go and check all of that stuff out. Now, I want to talk about the open to Monday Night Raw. The open to Monday Night Raw was probably the most newsworthy piece of the entire show. And Becky Lynch started Monday Night Raw off. Now, Stephanie McMahon was in the middle of the ring. And thank God I didn't have to hear her cringe-like theme music. She was standing there in the middle of the ring, and I absolutely hate it. It sends nasty chills up and down my spine every time I hear Stephanie McMahon introduce Monday Night Raw. As if it sounds so forced. She makes it sound exciting, like you're watching the best fucking show on television, but what you're really watching is a complete fucking 3-hour piece of garbage. So she tries to make it all exciting sounding. She's standing in the middle of the ring welcoming us to Raw. Before she can go on and introduce Becky Lynch's music hits and she walks down the aisle as Stephanie was about to make her introduction. Now, Becky Lynch was injured, quote unquote, at the Royal Rumble, and she's selling this knee injury, and she's really limping, and she's hobbling up the steps. I want you guys to know that Becky Lynch is not hurt. Becky Lynch is 100%. They are selling this injury as a side story to the main story that is Ronda Rousey. The one that's really injured is Seth Rollins. He's going to be out all month. He wasn't even on the show tonight. Seth Rollins is legitimately hurt. He made none of his commitments in Canada during the WWE house show tour up north. So he is out. Hopefully he is ready for WrestleMania, but the prognosis is a month, according to the reports coming out this weekend for Seth Rollins. I'll find out more about that when we do Off the Script 260. But Becky Lynch hobbles up the steel steps. Loud Becky chants. Stephanie introduces Becky Lynch, being that Becky Lynch, pretty much stopped the introduction. Stephanie tells Lynch that she's never seen anyone just smile in Ronda Rousey's face like that before. Lynch then asks, why wouldn't she be smiling? It's a good question. I don't know why she's smiling. A, she's on Monday Night Raw. B, you're in front of Stephanie McMahon. I don't think anybody smiles in front of Stephanie McMahon because they know what's awaiting. A fucking slap heard around the world. Most of the time. Thank God that didn't happen tonight. So, the fans give her another reason. Steph says that no one wants to see Lynch slap Rousey's head off more than her after last year's WrestleMania. What a sore loser, Steph. I figured you would have gotten over that already. So, Stephanie points out that Lynch's knee injury is, a big deal. And she asks Lynch if her knee is all right. Lynch then says she's fine. But nevertheless, Steph shows the replay from the Royal Rumble where Lynch injured her knee. Nia Jax came in and aggravated that before she won the Royal Rumble. Charlotte took advantage of that. She still won the Rumble. Steph says that what she does, that's what she does. She points out the obvious, right? I wish she would point out how obviously bad Monday Night Raw is, but that's another story. She did and promised change, and I'm still waiting for change. And if the change is in the form of Jeff Jarrett, clearly she might have been talking about another wrestling show because she wasn't talking about Monday Night Raw. So this is what she does. And she's all heart. She can't keep refusing medical attention. Becky's all heart. She can't keep refusing medical attention. Lynch says she won the Royal Rumble on one leg, and she doesn't want doctors involved. Steph says she understands and remembers when she refused medical attention during the invasion of Raw, when Nia Jax broke her face. She says that no matter what, Lynch just wanted to keep fighting. McMahon knows that she will do anything to fight for this moment, but she cannot let Lynch compete in a match if she's not cleared by the WWE doctors. Now, a lot of people were concerned about this, and I'm going to get into all my points in just a second. I want to go over in dialogue what Becky Lynch and Stephanie McMahon did on Monday Night Raw to open the show. So Becky tells Stephanie that she sees what's going on here. She's the glitch in the Vince McMahon plan or the McMahon's plan, and she's not moving over for anyone. She asks Steph what she knows about struggle because she never struggled for a damn thing in her life. Lynch then tells Stephanie that she rose up and she's earned every step to WrestleMania and there's nothing her or a doctor can do about it. Steph tells her that she indeed did earn her way to WrestleMania, but as a business, I have to look out for my competitors and my employees, and you are a liability. If you don't get cleared, I can't let you wrestle. Steph says that's all she has to do, is go get cleared by a doctor. Unless, possibly, it's worse than you're really telling all of us. So she put Becky on the spot. Stephanie then says she cares about Lynch, and this match is one of the biggest in WWE history. She then goes on to say everyone wants to see the match, but she has to be cleared. She begs Becky Lynch to go see the doctor and tells her it has nothing to do with tricks. Lynch tells Steph that she's not taking her moment away from her. Steph says that if Lynch doesn't go see a doctor, she will have to suspend her indefinitely. Lynch says, no, and I'm not going to a doctor, and I won't be responsible for what I do to you if you force me to go see a doctor. Stephanie says, don't make her do it. Don't make her do it. Lynch refuses again. And Stephanie says, as of this moment, Becky, you are suspended from WWE. Now, Becky lost her fucking cool. She begins attacking Stephanie McMahon. She nearly gets the disarm her on Stephanie McMahon. Officials and trainers come out. People try to pull her away. This was a very forced brawl. It looked very sloppy. It did not look believable at all. There was no intensity there. It was just something that was thrown together to make Becky look badass, and it really didn't come off all that good. And I see fucking idiots on social media comparing this. Oh, this was Vince McMahon and Stone Cold just with Stephanie and Becky Lynch. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. If it was, we'd see beer showers and middle fingers and fucking raucous crowds waiting to jump the fucking barricade. This was nothing like that. It didn't even come close to a tenth of the intensity that Vince and Stone Cold had in the ring. So I don't want to hear about the Becky Lynch, Stone Cold, Vince McMahon comparisons here on Monday Night Raw. It didn't even resonate. I didn't even think of those comparisons during this segment. There was a lot more that I was thinking of instead of some stupid, cheesy fucking comparison with something that happened back in 1998. So all of this happens, and they remove Becky Lynch from the arena. They're throwing her out of the arena. So Ronda Rousey is in the backstage area. Lynch is walking through the backstage area with everybody escorting her out of the building. Ronda Rousey's walking by. Rousey tells Becky that she tests the limits of her professionalism every time she sees her. But she will keep her cool because she has matches and a pay-per-view to sell. She then asks Becky if what she did tonight is going to help sell their pay-per-view match now that she's suspended. Because she's robbed everyone of their first main event at WrestleMania. She then goes on and asks what she's doing here. That's a good question, Becky. What the fuck are you doing on Monday Night Raw? Better yet, why do you want to be on Monday Night Raw? People were legitimately asking me, why didn't this segment take place on SmackDown Live? Because Raw is the A show, people. They wouldn't put Ronda on SmackDown. I hope we do, at some point, at least once, in the build to this thing. But you know for a fact that this thing is getting built for the majority of the time on Monday Night Raw. How are you going to help sell the pay-per-view match now that you're suspended, she says. You robbed everyone of their first WrestleMania main event. What are you doing here? You need to rest up so I can beat your ass at WrestleMania. She then says, look at your knee. Try some Advil and go home, bitch. That's what she says. That's what she says. Ronda says, go get some Advil, bitch. Towards Becky Lynch. Now, Ronda's promos, man, they're so polar opposites of one another. Sometimes they're good, and sometimes they're forced. But they're either really, really fucking forced and they just throw a lot of gibberish at you, or they're completely sloppy. You know, I think they try and script for Ronda and make her try and sound too over the top with these promos. They could have cut this promo down by at least a third, and it would have been just as effective as what we got tonight. I don't know what it is with Ronda's promos. I mean, promo last week was fucking great. It'll probably go down as one of the best moments on Monday Night Raw all year. That was a moment. That was a moment. This, I think they just tried too hard. Now, the question is, why is all of this happening? Why is Becky Lynch injured, quote unquote? Why are they working a storyline into what is the one match that we all want to see? Now, this is the only thing I really took notes on because this show was fucking atrocious. I actually don't mind Becky Lynch's knee injury and the storyline with the knee injury that they've integrated into this Ronda Rousey match. I'm actually starting to look at it a little bit differently, even though it does come with some pretty big concerns. Now, I don't trust WWE with anything. I don't trust them at all. I don't trust them to carry a feud for long-term booking. And this is the women, so it's even worse when you think about it. I do not trust WWE to carry Becky and her momentum till WrestleMania. This is Monday Night Raw after all. Long-term planning and long-term booking does not exist in their vocabulary. If we've learned anything, it's that Raw and the people that run it have an IQ lower than fucking dryer lint. So don't expect some really, really fun, creative, elaborate storyline going into WrestleMania. If that was left in the hands of Vince for the next 2 months, they'd fuck it up faster than we can all say Becky Lynch. There's positives here, though. It gives off that vibe that management is against Becky, because that was obviously thrown into the promo, that she wasn't the chosen one, that she was the wrinkle in their plans. This gives off the vibe that management is against Becky. Becky becomes rebellious, and that resonates with the people, because that's the Becky Lynch character that we've grown to love. And that's the Becky Lynch we want in the main event of WrestleMania. And the fact that management is against her, it's now going to create sympathy for Becky Lynch with the knee injury, with the additional knee injury, I should say. Even though the sympathy is not needed, it's not harmful in this situation either. If you guys want to try and understand that. Now, where does the sympathy come in? The sympathy is because Becky is hurt. She's saying she's not hurt. Stephanie is saying she is hurt. And they're effectively taking her off television. That's going to build sympathy. Why are you doing this to Becky Lynch? If she says she's not hurt, she's not hurt. Why don't you just listen to her? Why are you jeopardizing the main event of WrestleMania? That's sympathy. That's sympathy. You take Becky Lynch away from the people are going to be more sympathetic towards Becky. In turn, that's going to create a better reaction to Becky Lynch when she's back on television after this so-called suspension. It's not needed, though. It's not needed. But in this case, it's not harmful either. Now, with the knee injury, they added the suspension angle, and this takes Becky off of TV. It keeps her away from Charlotte, and most importantly, it keeps her out of the ring with Ronda Rousey. I've seen enough of Becky and Ronda for a little bit now. Now they need to be away from one another. So that's the biggest positive in this entire thing. Now, if Becky was on TV and went back to SmackDown Live after this little back and forth with Ronda for the last 2 weeks and now Stephanie McMahon, if Becky was on TV and went back to SmackDown Live, I question all of you, what does she do on SmackDown Live? There realistically is nothing for Becky Lynch to do. There's nothing for Becky Lynch to prove. She's beaten Charlotte. She's won the Royal Rumble. What the fuck is there for Becky to do on SmackDown Live? Rematches with Charlotte Flair are something that I do not want to see anymore. Again, there's nothing for Becky to prove. It's been done, and it's completely unnecessary at this point. Charlotte needs to put her complaint in, because if WWE wants to visit the happenings of the Royal Rumble, she certainly does have a case for herself. Fit Finlay is not in the position to make those type of, arrangements at the Royal Rumble. He allowed her to go into the Royal Rumble. He's not part of management, I'm assuming, to allow those types of decisions to be made. So if WWE wants to visit that, they certainly could. Get your complaints in, move on. Move on. Charlotte is not going to be in the main event of WrestleMania, nor should she be. And I gave you every fucking plausible reason on Saturday's episode of Off the Script, if you guys want to go and check that out. A really, really good listen in the open of that show. We seem to be forgetting about Asuka here. Asuka needs an opponent for WrestleMania. Charlotte and Asuka make sense. Charlotte and Asuka makes WrestleMania that much better. if they put them two in a one-on-one match. Then we got Ronda and Becky for the Raw Women's Championship. It makes WrestleMania that much better and is a match I would love to see built upon and bettered following last year's great effort. That's just my opinion, and I think you guys would obviously feel the same way about that as I'm stating it here. Now the bad. There is bad. I'm trying to look at it in positive. You guys wanted me to bring some sort of positivity to this fucking shit. I'm trying to be a little different here. So I hope you're all on board. Now the bad. There is bad, believe me. It clearly shows WWE isn't creative enough to book Ronda and Becky for the next 2 months. And that's a shame. They call themselves creative writers. If you can't write for Becky and Ronda going into WrestleMania over the next 2 months, why are you even in the position that you're in? You could have teased it for the first couple of weeks leading into the Elimination Chamber. You could have had a one-off for now with Becky Lynch on Monday Night Raw, right? She's done everything that she could on SmackDown Live. You could have had a one-off with Ruby Riott. You could have had a one-off with Ember Moon when she comes back from injury, whenever she comes back from injury, right? Maybe Becky versus Natty or something along those lines. They could have had a one-off with anybody else on that women's roster for Becky Lynch before she fully concentrates again on Ronda Rousey. Now, any of those women being in the ring with Becky would have been a great showcase. They would have got a great rub from the man, Becky Lynch, right? And it would have given Becky a big win on the way to Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. It's not that difficult. WWE makes it seem like it's the most difficult fucking thing in the world to creatively write for this fucking show, and they rather take the easy way out by just completely taking her off TV. They're taking her off TV because it's easy and they don't have any fucking creativity to build momentum with them on TV. Now, for everyone that's worried that this is a legit injury, I already stated to you, it's not. It's all a work. It's all bullshit. Now, this does not mean, or at least I hope not, that WWE will add Charlotte to the Ronda match, making it a triple threat, or replacing Becky altogether. WWE will do exactly what they did at the Royal Rumble. They will make us sweat. They're going to make us sweat all the way up until the end, but I'm sure it will end up being Becky and Ronda in New Jersey at WrestleMania 35. There's no other match that WWE can poll us on. There's no other match that the people want to see. If they stray away from what they have now, it is going to be met with unbelievable negativity. They cannot risk doing that. So that is my thoughts on the opening segment. Now, Ronda Rousey, after all this, was in a one-on-one match with Liv Morgan. Obviously, that ended the way it should have, with an armbar for the tap out. Liv Morgan didn't last a second in the armbar, tapped out immediately. Ronda Rousey grabbed the microphone and starts yelling as the fans are booing her. And then Sarah Logan is prompted into a match. Ronda challenges Sarah Logan. So at this point, I'm like, are they really going to feed? I don't give a fuck about the Riot Squad at all, outside Ruby Riott. But you're feeding the entire Riot Squad to Ronda Rousey? Why is that? Especially after they just qualified for the women's tag team title? One woman just defeated a team that's in the Elimination Chamber for the WWE women's tag team titles. That doesn't bode well for them, I guess. So Sarah Logan follows suit, and she tapped out to Ronda Rousey as well. So we got Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan tapping out to the armbar. So she beats 2/3 of the Riot Squad. Ruby Riott, thank God, only climbed the apron and did not get in the ring, which makes me think that Ronda's, I guess, in-between test is going to be Ruby Riott. So I'm either thinking it's going to be Elimination Chamber or the Fastlane pay-per-view for Ronda Rousey and Ruby Riott. Because Ruby Riott's not in the Elimination Chamber tag team title match, so Ruby Riott's got to do something. Why not just put her against Ronda Rousey? And you know what? I think that would be a good test for not only Ruby, but for Ronda Rousey as well. I don't mind that at all. I just don't think that it was that creative of a way to get us there. It honestly just seems like it's thrown together. But what the fuck do I know? Moving on here, man. We go from that to a tag team title qualifying match, or number one contender match, rather. Lucha House Party versus Heavy Machinery versus the B Team, no, and the Revival. I truly don't understand people's logic here, man. This is okay with them. I don't know how many times I have to tell you that the tag team division on Monday Night Raw is god-awful. God-awful. It needs a complete reset. It needs to be gutted from the inside out. This team, or this tag team division, rather, needs to be blown up, and we need a fresh, new everything on the tag team division. And what I've stated over the last 2 years is to merge the fucking divisions. Now, people on social media arguing with me, don't leave, don't abandon the SmackDown tag team division, leave them alone. They got a good thing going on over there. Really? What division? What division? Half of the fucking teams are sitting in catering, waiting for Titus to serve his unsweetened iced tea. What division? The New Day, the Bar, and the Usos do not make a division. I'm sorry. Now, if WWE wanted a competitive fucking division that included legit teams and not the B team, not the fucking B team, we could merge the divisions and we could get these shows to actually have some fucking meaning. And this is WWE just saying, you know what? We're going to give them a competitive tag team division. I know what we could do. Let's throw all the teams in a big multi-man match. That really doesn't spell excitement to me, Vince. And the Revival ended up winning this match. The Revival ended up winning another opportunity at the tag team title. So that makes how many opportunities now? At least 3 in the last 2 months for the Revival. They didn't win it on the first time. They didn't win it on the second time. And at this point, who the fuck cares? And why did the Revival win this tag team title number one contenders match? I wonder why. The AEW effect is like fucking Mr. X in Resident Evil 2. It's everywhere. It's absolutely fucking everywhere. When you turn your back, it's right behind you. When you're sitting in catering, it's right behind you. When you put your head down to sleep in the hotel room, it's right next to you. Believe me. This tag team division is fucking terrible. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I love Dash and I love Dawson. I love the Revival. I think they're great. Do I think that they've been shafted? Absolutely. I didn't even want them to win this match. The only thing I was thinking about during this number one contenders match was the fact that I wanted Heavy Machinery to win. Heavy Machinery looked good. They sounded good. They got a nice reaction. And I'm watching Heavy Machinery work on the main roster. And just by Otis and Tucker doing their thing and Otis being very charismatic, I have a lot of faith in Heavy Machinery and the fact that they're going to be over on the main roster. I wanted Heavy Machinery to actually win this match. Then the Revival ends up winning. They get a shatter machine on, I don't know who the fuck it was. Who was it? Let me see my notes. Shatter machine here on Bo Dallas. Who cares? The Revival end up winning. Are they going to win the tag team titles? Third time I mentioned they haven't done it the 2 previous times. Who the fuck cares? And if they do win, it's that AEW effect. And if they win, who are they going to defend the titles against? Zack Ryder? Z-A-C-H? Ryder? Fuck out of here, man. Revival end up winning. Tag team division is a fucking joke. Merge the divisions and let's get some competitive tag team action on both of these shows. Please. It would benefit everybody. There would be less filler. You'd get teams like the New Day and the Usos on Monday Night Raw to fucking spark some energy or adrenaline onto these shows. No, but I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's what I do. That'd be one of the first things that I do on my list of priorities. Zack Ryder's backstage. They actually mention the botch of his name. It's Z-A-C-K. It's not Z-A-C-H. I don't know who. I think someone did that on purpose. There's no fucking way. There's absolutely no way anyone's going to convince me that they fucking botched his name on the pre-match graphic. I'm sorry. The guy's been there for 13 fucking years, and they fucked up his name? Someone obviously had to be fucking with him. And they made mention of this. Ryder tells Hawkins that WWE spelled his name wrong when they entered the ring last week. And he says that his point is he's a loser just like him. Now, Hawkins was telling Ryder, why the fuck do you want to team with me? I've lost 260 matches in a row. Whatever. I think this is a good pairing. I think this is slightly intriguing, because they got something there. They're taking this fucking irrelevant storyline of him not winning a fucking match, and they're actually building to something that could get them over. Everybody's, if they keep mentioning it, well, this guy's won a match. Imagine when they do win a match, and imagine they beat a team like the Revival for the tag team titles. Could be pretty decent. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Angle, why this guy is even alive on Monday Night Raw, I don't fucking know. I mean, Kurt Angle's back on Monday Night Raw. Apparently he had a big announcement. What was his announcement going to be? Well, Kurt Angle comes out, and he's standing in the middle of the ring. He's going over his accomplishments. Remembers his match with Shawn Michaels and how they tore the house down at WrestleMania 21. The night he soiled the ring with milk, and one of the best Monday Night Raw moments of all time. He remembered his time as general manager. He brings up Jason Jordan as his son, and he thanks all the fans. And he lived his life by the 3 I's. And those 3 I's have turned into the 3 D's. Doubt, defeat, and depression. I watch Monday Night Raw living the 3 D's every fucking week. This is nothing new, Mr. Angle. This is a normal fucking viewing session on Monday Night Raw. The 3 D's, doubt. I doubt we're going to get a good show. Defeat. Everybody feels defeated after the first 20 minutes. And depression. We're depressed after sitting there for 3 fucking hours. Nothing new to me, Mr. Angle. I don't know where the fuck this is coming from all of a sudden. Because you lost to Baron Corbin. Oh my God. We've been losing for the last 6 fucking years. He remembers his recent loss to McIntyre and Corbin. How disappointed he is after winning a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. Angle says that the opponent he cannot defeat is Father Time. Man, I wish Vince McMahon would have fucking succumbed to Father Time years ago. Maybe Monday Night Raw would be better off for it. Interrupted by Baron Corbin. He asks Angle what he's doing here. Why is he doing this? What is this for? I don't know. You actually legitimately asked great questions here, Mr. Corbin. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I agree with you. He says Angle did this to himself, and he should have made this speech at the Hall of Fame 2 years ago. Man, Baron Corbin's on fucking fire, man. That's the greatest thing he's ever fucking said on Monday Night Raw. Corbin tells Angle that he should have just had matches, or made matches rather, as the general manager and not be in them. It's funny because Baron Corbin did the same thing, but I guess that's the heel Baron Corbin. That's what the heel is supposed to do, right? He did the same thing. Corbin tells him that he's broken down and a shadow of a man. Angle says that this shadow of a man will break his ankle in 2. So Drew McIntyre comes down the ramp, and McIntyre tells Angle that he can't help himself. He's about to accept his fate and move on, and then he says he'll break the ankle of a man that beat him last week. McIntyre says that he was a warrior, but all he saw in his match with Angle was fear right before he tapped out to his own ankle lock. Says that Angle has no quit in his body, and he's going to keep showing up until somebody does something drastic. So he tells Portland to shut their mouths and get their cameras ready because this will be the last time we see Angle ever in a WWE ring. Really? Are you making that guarantee to me, Drew McIntyre? Because I hope you're not lying. I hope that you're a man of your word. So McIntyre and Corbin surround the ring, and then Braun Strowman comes out. Get these hands. Get the remote. The guy is fucking cringe. He makes a charge to ringside, and he saves Kurt Angle from a 2-on-1 attack. He sends McIntyre face first into the steel ring post. Strowman chases after Corbin and throws an office chair at him like he usually does. You know, gotta throw something, Mr. Braun Strowman. If he's not flipping over fucking ambulances and limousines, he's throwing office chairs. Could be a new fucking salesman at fucking Office Depot, the way he throws fucking chairs. McIntyre and Corbin jump into the audience and escape to the backstage area. Nobody knew if Angle was going to announce his retirement, but they made a main event match with Angle and Strowman versus Corbin and McIntyre on February 4th, 2019. Just letting you know. Moving on here, man. We see a highlight of Seth Rollins' victory at the Royal Rumble, and then Brock Lesnar completely destroying him. Like I mentioned, Rollins is going to be out a month, so they're letting him get better. And he's going to be on TV, but he's not going to be physical whatsoever, because I hope to God that Rollins is not taken out of the WrestleMania main event. I would feel bad for him, number one, and I would feel bad for WrestleMania. God knows what they're going to do with fucking Brock Lesnar at that point. Bayley is in the backstage area with Sasha Banks. Nikki Cross and Alicia Fox are back there, and they're going over exactly what's going on with the tag team title situation. And we had Charlie Caruso I believe it was Charlie Caruso, mentioned that both Bayley and Sasha were failures against Ronda Rousey. Now they're going to turn that around against Alicia Fox and Nikki Cross, of all people. I don't know why this is a fucking team. This is really fucking sad. And I have my gripes with this, which I'll go over in a second. So, they all four make a statement that they're going to win. You know, Nikki is going to team with Alicia and win and advance to the Elimination Chamber. And Sasha and Bayley are saying how proud they would be to be the first ever women's tag team champions. Blah, 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 blah. So the match is made. So Bayley is coming through the curtain and entering the arena. And Nikki Cross and Alicia Fox attack her on stage and drag Sasha Banks out from the backstage area. Now, this is against two of the biggest women's baby faces on the Raw roster, Bayley and Sasha Banks. Correct me if I'm wrong. One, wasn't Nikki Cross teaming with Bayley and Natty against the Riot Squad just a couple of weeks ago, getting really, really great babyface reactions? Wasn't Nikki Cross in the Royal Rumble getting really, really, really great babyface reactions? Wasn't there a report about Nikki Cross shocking WWE management at how well her reactions were from the crowd? So why are we teaming her with Alicia Fox on Monday Night Raw? After all that positive for Nikki Cross. I guess they looked at Nikki Cross and see, oh, well, she's crazy. Who else do we have on the roster that's crazy? Oh, Alicia Fox. We'll pair them together. Second grade mentality from these fucking idiots who run Monday Night Raw. Oh, Nikki Cross is crazy. Alicia Fox is crazy. We'll team them up. Meanwhile, they don't know how awful Alicia Fox is, how she's been in fucking catering for the last 10 years, and now you're going to associate one of your new faces with someone who is a certified fucking loser on Monday Night Raw. Do you see where the fuck up is here? Or am I just completely fucking out of it? No, but I'm the fucking idiot who complains all the time. I want to see some other fucking clown in the community bring up that and not address that as being an issue. There goes Nikki Cross. Sanity's in catering, and they're getting Nikki Cross very comfortable with being in catering for the foreseeable future. Sanity, where are they? Don't worry. Nikki Cross is going to be joining you in just a little bit. if she continues teaming with fucking Alicia Fox, she'll be there faster than you can say Nikki. Ridiculous. Why was this match even happening? And then Corey Graves, you don't think I pay attention. Corey Graves is saying, oh, you got to earn your way. You got to earn your way into the Elimination Chamber. Really now? Does Mr. Corey Graves watch SmackDown Live? He's on the fucking show. He's doing commentary for SmackDown Live. Everybody on that side just said, well, I'm going to put myself and my team in the Elimination Chamber. There was no qualifying matches over there. Nobody worked hard to gain entry into the Elimination Chamber. So why is there one narrative on one show and a completely different narrative on the other? You got to work hard. You got to earn. Nobody's earning anything on this fucking show. Nobody's earning anything to get into the Elimination Chamber. The SmackDown teams have done nothing but just throw their names into the chamber. Which, in turn, makes the chamber and the Women's Championship feel fucking unimportant. The Women's Tag Team Championships feel unimportant. And if you don't realize that or feel that, maybe you should open your fucking eyes. Because one show is doing something and the other show is doing something completely different. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Sasha Banks and Bayley win here. Fox tags in, but Bayley rolled her up. Who the fuck cares? We already knew. This was a predetermined waste of fucking time. Nobody thought Alicia Fox and Nikki Cross were going to be in the Elimination Chamber over Sasha Banks and Bayley. Give me a break. Apollo Crews is on TV. I wonder why. Apollo Crews is backstage and he's asked if he's surprised that Kurt Angle is competing tonight. He's glad that he is. Says that guy won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. So he can have bad matches if he so chooses. He has done too much to let anybody bring him down. Now, Razor and Drake Maverick come over and confront Crews and tell him that Angle doesn't stand a chance tonight. Crews then goes on and says to Razor, did you just make your puppet speak and talk like that? Did you use your strings? Razor gets in Apollo's face, but Drake calms him down and they just walk away, saying that he will be ultimately disappointed with Angle tonight while he fails. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to reiterate again, it's February 4th. By the time you listen to this, it's February 5th, 2019. Road Dogg, D-O-double-G, comes out, and he does his Degeneration X entrance without Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn, who's working for AEW as a producer backstage for Cody and the Young Bucks. He does his spiel, which I don't really mark out for anymore. And if you mark out for the Road Dogg at this stage of the game, February 5th, 2019, you might have some serious fucking soul searching to do. He introduces Double J. I cannot even begin to tell you the depression that fell over my body hearing Double J's original WWF music hit the PA system on Monday Night Raw in 2019. I ask why. Jarrett and Road Dogg are in the ring acting like a bunch of fucking has-beens, and they're singing again, Alone with My Baby Tonight. I don't know what planet Vince McMahon was abducted to. I don't know what the fuck they did or where he was probed. But if this is his idea of the road to WrestleMania, how could we make the new era exciting for everybody? Oh, I know. Road Dogg Jesse James and Jeff Jarrett in 2019. This is not nostalgia, folks. This is just plain pathetic. This is not a nostalgia pop. This is not a feel-good moment. This is absolutely nauseating. Nauseating. And then there are people on social media who enjoy this fucking filth. There are people sucking Road Dogg's dick over the fact that he's on Monday Night Raw singing With My Baby Tonight in 2019. And then people tell me I'm trying to get a job with AEW. But they're over there sucking Road Dogg's cock. This was fucking garbage. This does not belong on TV on Monday Night Raw in 2019. And then people tell me I bitch, complain, and moan. But I do it for all the right reasons. How is this getting Elias over? Does Elias have backstage heat? Does someone in the WWE hate Elias? How is this making him look any good? And then they teased a battle of the bands between all three of these guys. I would if they want to do that, I would rather them I'd rather them all play Guitar Hero, to be honest with you. I would rather them all in a backstage segment playing Guitar Hero. I don't want to hear them sing. I don't want to hear them play instruments. I don't even want to see them fucking wrestle at this point. Just get them off of television. They are completely miserable. So Elias comes out and he interrupts them, telling them that their song, or the song that they're singing, is just like them. It hasn't aged well. He gives them a flurry of insults and pokes fun at the Road Dogg, saying, "What are you doing here? You know, why don't you go back to SmackDown Live?" And he mentions something about slumping ratings. You're over here to kill our ratings? You're going to make our ratings worse by coming over here doing this shit. It was great. It was great. Some truth thrown into that. Couple of insults. Says that he turned down the Super Bowl halftime show to come to Portland. He doesn't even have a football team. Here's another thing. Elias was a babyface 2 weeks ago, and now he is a heel again. Like that. With no rhyme or reason. He's a heel. I enjoy him better as a heel anyway, so I'm not really going to complain too much on that, but I want to give you guys the fact of the matter that it just happened out of nowhere with no explanation whatsoever. All for Jeff fucking Jarrett on Monday Night Raw. He explains that he was going to play a song for Portland, but they're not worth it. Elias tells D-O-double-G and Jarrett that he can keep up the nostalgia act, but it doesn't change what WWE stands for. Then Jarrett says, "Hey, Chico, don't sing it, bring it." Yeah, what an insult. What a comeback there, Mr. Jarrett. You're not wrestling Razor Ramon at the 1995 Royal Rumble. You fucking clown. Jarrett versus Elias. If I watched one punch being thrown in this match, I'd be lying to you. Who the fuck cares? Elias ends up winning with a drift away. Jeff Jarrett on TV on Monday Night Raw on the road to WrestleMania 2 weeks before a fucking Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. This does not bode well for Elias, A, for his push on Monday Night Raw, and B, for whatever role they have for him at WrestleMania. This is absolutely deteriorating any aspect that Elias had. Garbage. Dana Brooke is backstage. I don't know why. I guess she got lost. I guess she was looking for catering. She got excited because Titus was serving his famous chicken with mashed potatoes and they had stuffing tonight. She got lost. She somehow found her way into fucking Natalia's dressing room. Dana Brooke is telling Natalya that she's really sorry about causing them to lose the big tag team match last week. Dana Brooke tells Natalya not to give her the silent treatment. She's becoming frustrated and tells Natalya that she's going to ask Vince McMahon for a one-on-one match next week to prove herself. Why? You're pretty much telling me what I'm missing next week or what I'm skipping next week. So as she leaves, Natalya had her hair down and she's going through her phone. She's going through her bags. Dana Brooke is standing there talking behind her. Dana Brooke leaves. Dana Brooke thinks that Natalya is ignoring her. Dana Brooke leaves and Natalya pulls out earpods or AirPods from her iPhone. She was listening to music while Dana Brooke was standing there talking. Good. Good. Even if Dana Brooke was standing there and Natalya didn't have headphones in, I'd still be ignoring her. Ridiculous. Finn Balor, backstage. His ribs are taped up because he's banged up from the match with Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. Finn Balor's backstage and he is explaining how he is hurt. He's banged up, his ribs, his elbow. He's still here to fight for the title, which was advertised as Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor for the Intercontinental title. Balor says he won't be held down and he's not going to take the fight to Lashley like he did to Lesnar. He says he'll be taking the Intercontinental title, and he's going to beat Bobby Lashley. As Finn enters the arena, we see the replays from the Lesnar match at the Royal Rumble. Lio Rush gets on the microphone, comes through the curtain with Bobby Trashley, and tells Finn that he's out here looking like a mummy with his ribs taped up. Rush tells him that this is a mouse versus a Mack truck match. Trashley grabs the microphone and says that Finn couldn't beat Lesnar, but he fared pretty well if you ask me. Finn couldn't beat Lesnar, and yet he's better than Lesnar, says Trashley. He says that he needs to start fighting people his own size, and instead of a title match tonight, he's going to face Lio Rush. Oh, well, thank you so much, Bobby Lashley, for sparing us to see you in the ring. I'd much rather see Lio Rush versus Finn Balor any day of the week than your pathetic fucking wrestling ability in the ring on Monday Night Raw. Thank you so very much, man. You deserve a fucking Nobel Peace Prize after tonight. Thank you so much, man. Finn Balor versus Lio Rush wasn't bad. Lio Rush is great, no matter how fucking terrible this act is with Bobby Lashley. Balor with the coup de grace, 1, 2, 3. He beats Lio Rush, and I'm assuming we're getting an Intercontinental title match at the Elimination Chamber. That's the only thing I could surmise here. So there you go. Balor had to go through Rush. Now he gets the title match. There you go. Lashley comes down after the match, and Balor slides out, celebrating his victory on the ramp. Balor was about to get attacked by Lashley, and he escaped. Paige comes out with a microphone, and she promotes Fighting With My Family. That's coming out in theaters at the end of the month. Alexa Bliss had another moment of piss segment with the newest Monday Night Raw signee, EC3, the mime. What's that Pokemon's name? Mr. Mime? Mr. Mime, right? That's him. He's a fucking Pokemon. EC3. God didn't utter one fucking word all night. EC3, sitting there. I wish he would integrate this into his fucking character. Mr. Mime. EC3, right? EC3's out there. I do like his entrance, though. I like his theme music. I like his entrance where he points up to the Titantron and the letters pop up when he's pointing. I like that. I think it's cool. So he comes out, sits down with Alexa. Alexa is being very sexual with EC3. And she's speaking in a very flirtatious tone, and she's just coming off in a very in a very porno-like way. You know, I thought she was reenacting a fucking scene in a porno movie, and she was about to fucking fuck EC3 right on the stage. Alexa Bliss asks EC3 if he's ready for his moment of bliss. I don't know what the fuck that means, but I think all the 12-year-olds had their balls drop while watching this segment on Monday Night Raw. She says he's young, he's good looking, and she heard that he has a big bank account. Bliss says that she notices that EC3 likes to play hard to get and jump between Raw and SmackDown. She might be misinformed here. I don't remember seeing him on SmackDown in any prominent role except doing this and this and this. I don't remember seeing him on SmackDown in any prominent role. I remember him doing this in front of the mirror and Samoa Joe looking like he's a fucking idiot. EC3 is about to say something, and then out comes Nia Jax. Nia Jax, the thorn in the side of a moment of piss. Jax says that she would say she's sorry, but she's not. I'm sorry for everybody that has to listen to this woman speak. And nobody wants to see this nauseating blind date. Nobody wants to see Nia Jax and Tamina step through the ropes. I would much rather see what Alexa Bliss and EC3 do on this blind date. Jax brings up her time in the Men's Royal Rumble and her win with Tamina to qualify for the Elimination Chamber. Jax says that this is actually her moment, not Alexa's. Jax says that this whole world is Always wondering what she'll do next. Maybe she'll fill in for Becky at WrestleMania. That was obviously thrown in there for cheap heat. Then out comes Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose was out there, and I'm like, oh, finally, we get to see what Dean is going to do as a follow-up after the news of him leaving WWE after WrestleMania. So he's out there, and he's not sorry, and he really doesn't want to be out there, he says. I don't blame him. It's Monday Night Raw. He says he must say something to Nia, and that is, it's obvious that she has a huge crush on him. And Renee Young was heard snickering on the microphone on commentary. Ambrose says that it's okay she doesn't know how to handle his raw sexual magnetism, but he wants her nowhere near him. He then asks EC3 who he is and then knocks the microphone out of his hand. He goes over these questions. He's going to interview EC3. Why are you here? Why do you walk around like a mute Chippendale dancer? Why don't you ever get in the ring? Why is your name EC3? What happened to EC1 and EC2? This was probably one of the best parts of the entire fucking show. But EC3 ended up punching him in the face. And a match was made right there. EC3 got a decent reaction when he came out on stage with Alexa Bliss. And this match lasted about 3.5 minutes max. And EC3 pulled out a STO variation and then a jackknife cover for a fluke win over Dean Ambrose. And then they went right to Kurt Angle. Ladies and gentlemen, Dean Ambrose, it is no longer a work. After tonight, it is no longer a work. I am not speaking about it being a work ever again. Ambrose is as good as AEW. Simple as that. They just buried him on Monday Night Raw, and we could see where Ambrose is going until he gets to WrestleMania. He might not even be on WrestleMania's card. In fact, he might be on WrestleMania in a match against Nia Jax, and they might squash him, and he's going to put Nia Jax over WrestleMania and then bid his farewells to the WWE. But he's not going to be in anything prominent from here on out. This is a burial of Dean Ambrose, and he's going out, and I hope that he holds his head up high, because he will have the last laugh. Believe me, if he just smiles, does what he's got to do, he will end up having the last laugh on Vince and WWE. And Ambrose promo tonight was actually very good. He sounded a little bit more amped up. He sounded a little bit more refreshed. He sounded a little less scripted. And Ambrose, I feel if you just give him bullet points and you let him go out there and cut a promo, the guy could cut a fucking promo. Instead of being hindered with fucking garbage written by some other fucking idiot on creative who doesn't know who Dean Ambrose is. EC3 wins. Main event, I didn't watch. I really didn't give a shit. I doubt anything happened. And by the looks of it, via Wrestling Inc., I had to go to Wrestling Inc. to find out the fucking results here. Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin win by DQ. Angle with an angle slam for a 2 count on Corbin. Strowman takes out McIntyre with a shoulder tackle and then attacks Corbin. The referee rings the bell for a DQ since Strowman wasn't the legal man. After the match, Strowman goes after both guys on the outside of the ring, but gets Claymore kicked in the face. They slam Angle into the ring steps and start picking things apart. Putting the base of the steps inside the ring, they go for a double chokeslam to Angle on the steps, but Strowman interferes and gives chokeslams to Corbin and McIntyre on the steel steps. Angle and Strowman stand tall as the show goes off the air. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a new era on Monday Night Raw. A new era in which we are seeing rehashed storylines with Corbin and McIntyre and Braun Strowman. A new era that has Kurt Angle, 50 years old, in the main event. Double J, Jeff Jarrett, and the Road Dogg battling Elias on Monday Night Raw. I just don't know. In fact, I do know it's Raw, but I just don't know how they look themselves in the fucking mirror. I don't know how they look at the script and deem this worthy of 3 hours of television. I don't. At some point, you have to think to yourself, is this good? Is this good? And now there'll be some people in some fucking random Instagram post that loved Raw. There'll be some fucking idiot on Twitter who thought this show was a step up from last week. These are the people. These are the issues. These are the people who are detrimental to the fucking show. These people are a disease to the show. This is the best you could do with Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle should have came out and fucking retired on Monday Night Raw. End it. I don't know where the fuck Jason Jordan is, but this would have been a great fucking transition from Angle the GM or Angle the in-ring competitor. Angle could have managed Jason Jordan from here on out. Or at least get a new fucking Team Angle together. And be an on-air figure in a non-wrestling role managing his quote-unquote son. Where's Jason Jordan? All I'm hearing is, oh, he's ready to come back, but they're very cautious. This was a perfect opportunity for Jason Jordan to come back and introduce him back to Monday Night Raw. And yet we're getting Braun Strowman, who is absolutely fucking dead, uninteresting, Drew McIntyre, who the more, week by week, he associates himself with Baron Corbin and Drew McIntyre, is becoming just as worse as Braun Strowman. And it's not his fault. Rehash storylines that we seen back when they were battling the fucking Shield. Come on, man. This is ridiculous. I'm absolutely done with this show, man. I'm glad I didn't watch the fucking main event. I was not going to subject myself to that shit. I had enough at that point. There's no way you're selling me on this type of main event for Monday Night Raw. I hope their ratings bomb. I hope their ratings fucking bomb. And then when they do, and then there's worry around Stamford, Connecticut as to why talent wants to leave and why talent wants to go look at AEW as another viable option, why are the ratings so bad, I want you to reference this fucking show. And then all the answer you need will be right in this 3-hour show. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Thank you guys very much, man. Please go follow me on social media at JD from NY206, both on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe, hit that bell, turn on the bell for all notifications. Patreon.com/JD from NY206 as well. Get the new shirt, JD's Elite, now available on bonfire.com. Link will be down in the description towards the very top. Go get yours today. We are near 50 sold already in 2 days, man. Thank you guys so very much. And please go and check out all the new videos that you might have missed this past weekend. Off the Script Extras, Off the Script episode 259, AEW, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Dean Ambrose, AJ Styles, calling out the dirt sheets over a contract that supposedly he never signed, Kenny Omega's new home, plus more to come tomorrow. I got major news on an AEW TV deal that right now is looking to be the biggest non-WWE TV deal since WCW. The AEW effect is going to Mr. X, Resident Evil 2 style, all over WWE, man. I can't wait. Thank you guys so very much for all that. I'm getting out of here. Hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you all right back here tomorrow with more content, and then SmackDown Live tomorrow night. I'll talk to you guys later.